first thing we're going to do is that we're going to cut out the viewfinders that your teachers have given you. To do that, I am moving my paper instead of moving my scissors. That makes it a lot easier and a lot quicker for you to cut them out. All the white pieces need to go. Now to cut out the midsection, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it slightly, not fully, each way, and I'm going to cut an X in the middle. I'm doing this so that I can then use this X to access the midsection. Now we want to be really neat and follow the lines that are given to you on the paper so that we have a really, really square and neat frame around our object. As you can see, there's now a hole inside of my rectangle. We're going to glue this area, so the little pink strip, glue on top of that. We're going to load the glue to make sure it sticks properly. And then we're going to stick it onto the other section. So we're going to turn it around and stick it so the white section is facing upwards. When you've done that, we're going to then fold it over. So we're going to fold it over so that you have one purple rectangle and a blue rectangle. This is now where you're going to place your objects. So you're going to take your objects, it might be pasta, it might be something else, and you're going to place them overlapping each other. If the objects are too big, then just choose the smaller ones. Now this is how we're going to place them and what we'll be able to see framed in front of us. This is my view. So I can now see that the frame is around my objects. You're going to draw a square into your books, and then you're going to use a pencil, preferably a 5B or 3B, and you're going to start outlining your objects. I'm constantly looking at my viewfinder and I'm looking at where my objects are, how big they are in comparison to the frame, and where the outline goes. By outlining my objects first, it gives me an idea where they are and how big they are before I start adding more detail. When I have added the outline, I'm then going to start adding the detail in the middle of the pasta or the object that you're using. So I'm adding a range of tone, so I'm moving constantly back and forth, but again, constantly looking at the objects in front of me. So by a range of tone, we mean that you need to have loads of sections that are really dark and also loads of sections that are then gradually lighter. By doing this, you're adding three-dimensional elements to the objects in front of you. And those are the things that we've been looking at. So we have been looking at the formal elements, which is tone and line, and all the other ones, though we might not be applying colour to this one. You're outlining and going over the sections you've already done to make sure that they represent what you are seeing. So they might be lighter, they might be darker. You need to make sure you're looking and applying the right tone in the right place. The tone will help you to add the detail. So for me, the pasta is sort of pinched in the middle, so I need to make sure that I can represent that through darker tones where there's depth, and lighter tones where the light's coming in and reflecting off the objects. There is no section which is completely white, so I'm making sure that I'm adding tone. And I'm also making sure that I'm adding the shadows that are being created by the objects in front of me. So around it, it won't be completely white. They are lying on top of something, and that should be shown through shadows as well.